right, welcome along to Searley set of 6 for your Monday. A disappointing result on the weekend. Of course, the Warriors going down to the Sharks. Our first home game in 56 days, and the lads from Cronulla got the better of us, 10 points to 8. And what was a bit of an old-fashioned arm wrestle. We're seeing so many high-scoring games throughout the NRL this year. This one was far from that. It was a bit old school. Physical matchup, both teams down some origin troops. In the end, a bit of wizardry from Will Kennedy, and then Braden Trindle at the end got the Sharks the 2 points to give them a 2-0 record against us so far this year. Also really levels up the ladder as well. We're sitting in second. We're now 6 points behind the Panthers, so that gap gets a little wider. We're only 2 points ahead of the 7th place Knights, but our points for and against is way better than theirs. So it is close. Another loss and them all winning wouldn't move us below them. It would basically just level us with them, and then we'd still be ahead on points for and against. But the competition is really starting to heat up now.
Yeah, it is. It's been a while since the Searley set of 6 as well, so
Yes.
It's good to be back, but it's also not good to be talking after a loss like that. I like the arm wrestle. We've been big fans of that on this podcast, like the Panthers game, so I sort of like that. And I've got a bit of a bone to pick about Mount Smart and how we play at Mount Smart. That's another topic that we can dive into, but some incredible plays by the Sharks who I think weren't given enough credit for how they performed on the weekend. But yeah, Webster's men a little bit behind the 8 ball as well.
Great segue, because my tackle one is to give credit to the Sharks. I think, yes, there are multiple talking points from this game. There is aspects of the Warriors' performance that we can improve on, certain things we did well. There were players missing for both teams. There were a few refereeing calls, which we're going to touch on too. But at the end of the day, I think it is important to acknowledge what was a heck of a performance from the Sharks. Interesting conditions. Beautiful day in Auckland. Did make for a bit of a foggy and misty night here. And on the field before the game, really slippery, eh? And I think we kind of saw that crossover into the game. I think it was a lot wetter and slipperier on top of the field than a lot of people think it was. And Mount Smart is kind of known for that too, right? Like you see it a bit in the football as well. It can hold a bit of surface, or not really water, but yeah, it makes for a slippery track at times, and I think it reflected in a lot of the errors that we saw as well.
And I think we'll say this a couple of times on the podcast. No, it wasn't the reason why we lost.
No.
And no, it wasn't the reason why we played badly. But it's just an odd one. Whenever I watch us at Mount Smart, or wherever I'm watching us at home at Mount Smart, it's always just we can't get our attacking flow going.
We tighten up a bit.
We tighten up. It almost seems like the field's smaller. It's not always wet, but it's like you said, the ground's a little bit wet. It's colder. It's like, I don't know. There's something about playing at Mount Smart where we can't open the game up and get flowing and free-flowing attack going. So it's an interesting topic to touch on.
I feel like we started the year, those first 2 games, where we piled on the points.
Yeah.
And it was like, how good. Every game's at night now. I know we have a Sunday 4 p.m. coming up. I think it's against the Knights towards the back end of the season. And then we finish with a Manly game on a Saturday night that's earlier than a 7:30 kickoff as well. But because we've become a bigger attraction television-wise, it means that Friday night, Saturday night, 8 p.m. time slot has really become ours. And it does make for, in winter over here, some interesting and deceivingly tough conditions, whereas it might not be raining and you might think, shit, she's crystal clear, but the moisture just sits on top of the field. I thought the Sharks were really good. Their D was so impressive. Their line speed, I thought it was questionable at times whether they were back the 10, whether they were leaving early. I thought we might have got a few more set restarts than we did. I do think, and you see it every year with certain things around the NRL, there's always a crackdown at the start of the year. Then after that first Origin game, things tend to shift. I think the amount of set restarts throughout this round appeared to me, just watching, I don't have the numbers, but it appeared lower than it has in previous games. And I thought we were unlucky not to get a few more at times because I thought the Sharks had jumped the gun a little bit on their line speed. But they were up in our face, man. They were extremely physical. From the opening kickoff, our first set, I think our outside backs and even some of our middles got driven back multiple times. They had 4 or 5 guys in the tackle, and it was clearly an area that they had targeted. They had numbers in the tackle all night. Their wrestle was really good. They won the post-contact fight. They finished with a 92% tackle rate. They only missed 24 tackles against a side that was ranked amongst the top 3 on attack, being the Warriors, to only miss 24 and pull off 92% of tackles in conditions like that. Really impressive. I thought their D was relentless.
Yeah, their physicality was almost stuff that we've seen from the Warriors. The way they're jolting the ball free, and out of our own end, we struggled to get any real strong meters or get sort of in front of the Sharks. Like, we weren't forcing them back. It was almost like a brick wall, and then we'd just go to make 5 meters, brick wall, you know, rather than getting a flow on, quick play the ball, and Wade Egan can sort of work off that. So I really credit the Sharks and the way Craig Fitzgibbon actually got his lads to really front up physically against the Warriors, because we've seen the forward pack dominate, and whether it was because we didn't have Fish or Mitch, I don't know, but I still backed our forward pack, like we talked about last week, to actually be better than their forward pack, and we weren't at all, because they don't have Brayley or Adam Fenner-Blake either. So, yeah, it was sort of a disappointing way, and I don't know what really it was, whether we just had an off night physically or just simple errors, and we couldn't really get over the advantage line.
Yeah, for me, they had a really simple game plan. Speaking to Cam McInnes before the game, asked him what the key to get the victory was, and he said they wanted to limit their errors, they wanted to kick long, and then they wanted to load up on us in the middle. And when you think, if that's their 3 points that they're saying before the game, I think they executed every single one of those perfectly. They finished the game with an 84% completion rate. They had the possession for 6 minutes longer than us throughout the game. They defended damn well, and I thought Trindle in particular kicked the ball beautifully. I think it's highlighted, and we'll touch on more later, but they had 5 repeat sets, we had none. He is a heck of a player. I swear half their team is bald. Completely unrelated, but there could be something in it. Tana had a great game, he's bald. Feels like it was a night for the Ball Bash brothers. They had 4 or 5.
Yeah, Tommy Hazelton and Will Kennedy and
one of the Puru brothers. And then, Tricky Trindle.
I really rate Trindle.
Oh, he is a heck of a player, man. And a competitor into everything, chirping non-stop. And they kind of look better when he's running the cutter, but that's been a topic of discussion for a long time. And then down the stretch, you have to give them credit as well. Talk about making the most of moments and icing them. That Will Kennedy play, yes, we took 45 minutes to get that field goal off. Again, we'll touch on that shortly. But to be able to pull off like a diving charge down like that and catch the ball in the same play was insane. To then roll down the field in tough conditions to hit a 2-point field goal like that, 43 out, I'd give it 45 on the angle.
Cold.
Never looked like missing. Nah. As soon as he kicked it, I was like, what an idiot. That is not going over. There is no way. I was like, this is way too hard of a night to pull something like that off. Never looked like missing. That sequence of play right there just summed up, I think, the way they deserved to win that game.
Yeah, completely agree, because I couldn't believe he caught it, Kennedy. Like, I was like looking for the ball almost after the charge.
I was like, how good, we're going to get another crack at this now.
And it's weird because it almost looked like it went up his legs.
Yeah, and like almost it like ramped up off his body.
It's impossible to be able to catch that, like, unless you're trying to catch it. You know what I mean? Like, it can't really just fall into your hands. But I think it sort of just like ramped up his legs and just fell into it, and he was sort of defending himself and he caught it. Yeah. Like, it was incredible. And then the drop goal. I mean, the biggest thing that I saw is I normally with drop goals, I look to the side to see whether anyone's celebrating.
Yeah.
And as soon as he hit it, I just saw the Sharks players hands up celebrating. I was like, no way.
And I was like, there is no way he's hit this.
Oh, incredible. Yeah.
Mental scenes. That's 4 wins on the trot for them. And I feel like they really came here with an attitude to try and make a statement and show, yes, we're down troops, but we can go with one of the best 4-packs in the competition. Fun fact, 6 of the last 8 times these two sides have played each other at Go Media, it's been decided by 4 points or less.
Yeah, we always have tight games, mate.
Yeah,
I mean, earlier in the season as well, we weren't great that day, but still, it didn't feel like we were that far off in that game either.
No. We've been their bogey side for the last couple of years. They've got the nod on us over both games this year, and it feels like they've got a bit of a mental advantage. Yes, both teams down troops. I think ours we really miss, but, geez, it's hard to play that card right when they're missing AFB, Nico Hines, Blake Brayley.
And Craig Fitzgibbon said that in the before the game. He said, we're still trying to get used to playing without Blake Brayley, who played 137 games straight.
Straight, yeah.
So, like, I mean, I don't think we can really use that. And I know you're not.
No.
But I don't think any fans can use, we didn't have AFB or Mitch. Yeah. Like, geez, their players are arguably more influential, I think, in the way that they are, because we are in form and we've got a better side around them, you know?
Is it weird to say I actually like their full packs performance without Eden in there too? I feel like they were a little bit quicker and a bit more physical.
Yeah.
Like Colhoun at prop before he picked up that head knock.
But he's strong, man,
He was
eh?
carving up Hazelton off the bench. Then they got Talakai off the bench too. I thought their outside backs were outstanding in yardage, man. Like Ronaldo, Katoa, Ramian, all those guys played really well. And Will Kennedy is just so underrated. Something about losing to a team with like Will Kennedy and that just hurts. Eh?
Feels wrong.
It does feel wrong, but he's such a good player.
Yeah, he is.
Tackle 2, bit of a rant here at Gerard Sutton, and more his game clock debacles, the shot clock scandal. For me, there were 3 calls here around the shot clock that I just don't agree with at all. Now, I know as Warriors fans, we have a bit of a reputation over the ditch for moaning whenever we lose a game. We always tend to blame the ref on social media, and you see other fan bases piping up being like, watch Warriors fans blame the referee here. And I'm not blaming the referee for losing this game. There were factors that we could have controlled that we didn't execute, and I think the Sharks overall executed better than us. It was a tight game, and they come away with the 2 points. No problem with that for me. I do have a problem, though, with a few things that played out, more so around the shot clock and his interpretation of it. The first one being the goal line dropout, which everyone's talking about. Now, the fact Webby blew up about it in the press conference shows that it was a real shocker. If you watch Andrew Webster's press conferences, he never says anything about the officiating. It's very rare. Would have to be an absolute howler for him to pipe up, but he felt like he needed to in this one because it did cost us 2 points to start the game, and in the end, that was the difference. 2 points separated the two teams at the end of the game. Was it the difference? I don't know, but when you look at the scoreboard, you can mount that case. So we're about 17 minutes into the contest. Chanel Harris-Tavita, he's about to restart the game from a goal line dropout. Sharks had forced a repeat set. With time ticking down on the clock, CHT asks Sutton how much time is left as he can't see the clock on the big screen. And Sutton says that he has 5 seconds, when if you were watching at home on the broadcast, and I went back and watched it back, you would have seen the broadcast says 2 seconds, right, when he says 5. Now, normally the players can see this. For some reason, the big screen down the far end at Mount Smart was showing an ad. The big screen behind the players was showing the shot clock, but Chanel couldn't see that because it's behind him. So he has no idea. Chanel kicks it on 0 on the broadcast, so 2 seconds later. The buzzer goes half a second before he kicks it, and Sutton decides to penalise it. After complaining about the penalty being awarded, Sutton says, it's a timing thing, it's not my responsibility if the buzzer goes and you haven't kicked it. Chanel then explains he couldn't see the clock, to which Sutton says, I appreciate that. I'm not looking at the clock. If the buzzer goes and you haven't kicked it, then you haven't kicked it. Firstly, to me, there has to be a bit of common sense at play here, right? The referee tells you you have 5 seconds to kick the ball, then you should have 5 seconds to kick the ball. Like, where did he get the 5 seconds from is what I am most interested in, because there wasn't 5 seconds when there was 5 seconds, and he is facing the screen, so he can see that there is 2 seconds to go. As the ref, you ultimately control everything, right? Like, there are guidelines and rules in the game, but at the end of the day, the man in the middle makes the call. If there are circumstances at play there, the referee is well and truly within his rights to say, we're stopping, blow the whistle, stop it, and just be like, the clocks are off here. There's an advertisement on the end screen. Let's stop the clocks now, kick the ball, let's get the game back underway. To me, that is the logical decision. That's what he should have done, 100%. You cannot say that there is 5 seconds to go, and then there was actually 2 seconds to go, the buzzer goes, and you penalise it. To me, there is multiple people at fault here. Chanel is not one of them. The Warriors aren't one of them. It's the people operating the big screen and whatever was going on down there. And then it's Gerard Sutton. For him to then turn around and be like, I'm not in control of the clock, mate. The buzzer went and you didn't kick it. You told him you had 5 seconds. A referee's job is to officiate everything on the paddock. And ultimately, I feel like we see it all the time, where the referee kind of stops it and says, you know, stop the clock, let's go. Whether it's a scrum or a goal line dropout, we've seen the shot clock be stopped before for reasons outside of their control, and I feel like this 100% was one of those times where you just stop the clock. I don't think the Sharks would have complained.
No, and it's such a hard thing to discuss now that we've lost the game because all of the talk is around how it's an excuse for losing, because like you, I agree with what you opened up with, by the way, about we weren't good enough in the game. We didn't really deserve to win the game. The Sharks deserved it. Sweet. Let's get rid of that because we're not making excuses for the performance. Then when you look at it, I agree that if Andrew Webster's blown up about it, and he blew up about it, but he was calm about it too. Yeah. He said that it's a disgrace and that it's an embarrassment. I agree with Webster, and I agree that we're hard done by there. I'm also of the belief that, I mean, how many times does Chanel do that in a game? Like maybe twice in a game, and maybe he's done it 10 times this season or 5 times this season. I mean, I think that, do they always wait until the 25 seconds?
Yeah, they try to kill the time. We were under the pump, so that's why you're trying to extract as long as you can. But normally it's up there at the screen. It's up there and you can see it. When you watch the game, it's very rare they kick with 10 seconds left to go on the clock. Most teams wind it right down because it's an opportunity for a break. I'm so stuck on it because I agree that it's the wrong call and that Gerard Sutton should have actually made a bit of... He just made a meal of it, really. Well, where did he get the 5 seconds from?
Well, but also, he must have looked to the screen because it wasn't showing up there on the far end and gone, okay, there's 5 seconds. Then Chanel's asked him, and then he said, oh, there's 5 seconds to go. And that's why while he's turned around and it's gone 5, 4, and then he's gone, there's 5 seconds to go, and then it's gone. I also disagree the fact that what can Ashley Klein do other than work on the buzzer? He should have stopped it, but I also think that if the buzzer's gone, it's 25 seconds, I feel like that's it.
Okay, hold that thought, because there's another stage in the game where he stops it, and I think it should have been a penalty to us. So the second one I'm not happy about is the scrum penalty in the first half that went the way of the Sharks. I get that Sutton warned Marata to put his head in. The clock was winding down. But if you go back and watch the replay, Braden Trindle is nowhere near packing the scrum. He's at the back of the scrum, but he is about a metre behind it. Marata is bound. All he has to do is duck his head, and he pretty much does it as the hooter goes off. Trindle's still not connected to the scrum as the hooter goes off. If anything, I think that should have been a penalty to us. But I think the smart call there is for Sutton to just stop it, pack the scrum, and then play continues. The attacking team needs to set the scrum too. He was only looking at us. He didn't look at the Sharks. Our players are all pointing as they get up saying, well, what the hell was Trindle doing? But if the attacking team's not set, then there's not going to be a scrum, is there? So the boys are, we were more set than they were.
I'm of the belief that referees don't use enough common sense.
Yes.
So, but does that mean he was consistent with his...
No, because then the third one...
Okay, continue.
I am not happy with is the exact same scrum almost. Set 8 minutes to go in the first half. Trindle's mucking around again. He's not set at the back of the scrum. He's still organising the attack. The Sharks' time's ticking down. They feed the scrum because they realise they're running out of time. Trindle then runs in and puts his hands on it, head still up, and Sutton stops the game, says reset the scrum, Trindle put your head in.
See, that's where I've got an issue.
So by that logic, we should get a penalty there. Now, I don't think any of them are penalties. I'm trying to say every one, you just stop it and restart the game. Because you see it all the time. Scrum not set. He blows the whistle. He says, put your head in. But you can't penalise the first one and then just stop the clock on the second one, reset it. When it's the same guy, too, who's got away with both. And I get that he missed the first one. But it's just the inconsistency around it. And look, I don't know if that would have won us the game. We would have had a penalty right in front, basically 20 out, which would have been 2 points. If we're going by this logic that is a penalty. So
I think he got them wrong. I think he got them wrong, and he should have been consistent.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have an issue here if all three are the same call and he's consistent.
Yeah.
I think where I struggle with it is because it's the same rule, right? 25 seconds. If it's 25 seconds is up, no matter whether you can see the clock or not, it's 25 seconds. If the buzzer goes, it's a penalty. I agree. I think that should be the call. And Sutton's right in saying that, okay, the buzzer's gone. It's not my responsibility. I understand you couldn't see it. But how is that my fault almost as well? So I agree with that. But then, like you're saying, if he gets the other two the same as the first one, we can but he changes it and he stops the game at other points, and there's other questionable decisions. So that's where he's got it wrong for me, not the direct decision of the first one.
It's the consistency piece, right? Which is all we ask for. And if refs miss full passes, knock-ons, things like that, we are always saying we're happy to live with human error. but it's when you're changing your mind on each one that makes it really confusing. Like, there were a few other calls I didn't like too. That Jacko Ford high shot where he went on report and he basically tackled him around the waist. I don't think he's going to get done for that one. I feel like a lot of calls, though, were missed both ways. So I can live with that. Like, I feel like we were hard done by at times, but the Sharks were hard done by, and we were quite lucky to get some calls at times too. So I'm not saying, again, referee's fault, not at all.
We're not saying that at all.
No.
We're just talking about the referee decision
It was
itself.
just those frustrating ones that I feel like in 9 out of 10 games, they just kind of let go, or the referee just owns it and he's like, hang on, when neither team's ready here, because that was the first scrum penalty, neither team was ready, so let's just repack it. And then it just confused me a little bit. And then the goal line dropout one, I feel like that should have just been like, something's clearly going on down here right now. Let's just pause here. We need to sort out the game clock and the big screen. Let's get back on track, and then we'll play from there.
I think Angus Gardner in Rugby Union used this the other week when there was a sideline convergence with Geordie. He couldn't see the timer either. And I seem to remember him sort of just counting down from like 20. Like something like that would have just worked, like identifying that there's something not working. Because did Chanel see the clock running down and then with 5 seconds to go an ad came on and he didn't know the time?
I believe the ad was on.
The whole time?
Yeah.
So then therefore, Gerard Sutton should have known that before it came to 5 seconds and gone, okay, hold up, let me count down. You know what I mean? Like there's just things that could have happened
I
to
feel
make
like
it.
rugby refs do it well. There'll be like 10 seconds on
There
those
was
conversion
yes,
clocks,
correct.
right? And they let you know and they hurry you up. And it's not the responsibility of the ref all the time to do that. It's just good officiating. But I feel like it probably was their responsibility on this one. I feel Wade was like, can we challenge it? Imagine that challenge.
Challenging and
the
they're showing
bunker like cuts to the ad. First of all, the ad shouldn't have been up. So someone else at the stadium is going to have to apologise. But yeah, just a little bit frustrating. In the end, it makes it look like it was the game when, to be honest, if we'd won 16-14, I still would have brought this up.
100%. We would have. We're pretty honest.
Yeah, we still would have brought it up. But tackle 3, standouts. Want to get to some positives. I thought Tanner Stowers-Smith was amazing. A big task to ask him to start the game and try and fill in the boots of Fish. It is a massive difference to start compared to coming off the bench. I don't think people realise how big of a difference it is. There's a massive feeling out period in the start of games, and bench role is come on energy, often fatiguing middles, and you look to bring a real impact. Starting the game, you have to set the tone and get in the grind early. The start to matches is so important. Both teams are fresh. The physicality and the speed is another level. I feel like his energy was elite. He carries so hard. He was one of the few that was getting some leg drive meters post-contact. I feel like him, Aaron Clark, Jacko Ford were the only players in our team really going forward for that first 20 minutes. He is all heart. I feel like he ran a really nice, great decoy line for Tomato Martin to go through for that first try, just engage those inside defenders, which opened up that little lane for him to go through. Did a 33-minute opening stint as well, only subbed off after 33 minutes in the first half, so he's got a big engine on him as well. I feel like his development just continues to skyrocket, and I think he showed that he can be a starting middle. We miss Fish, no doubt about it. But I feel like Tanner certainly held his gloves up. He's only 22, I believe. That's pretty crazy.
We didn't look that much worse with him playing there.
No.
Let's say that. And that is a big compliment because it's Fisher Harris that we're missing. So it's like the fact that we haven't looked that much worse with him there shows that we actually can live with that sort of injury.
Yeah.
I just think everyone around him didn't sort of make up the extra numbers and the extra strength and physicality that maybe Fish brings.
We miss Fisher's presence, for sure. His leadership, another forward that can just find their front every time. He's got a fear factor and an intimidation factor about him. And if we had Fish out there, the result could well have been different. I just don't think it was like you were saying, basically, Tanner not delivering to that level. I think he was really damn good. I thought Demi's first stint off the bench was massive too. Loved his back fence carry. Like, the energy we get from that is huge. I think we got a penalty, the carry after that, off the back of it. And I feel like he hit hard all night, and the energy he brings is outstanding. I thought young Macca held his own as well. Exciting to see another young lad get an opportunity to debut a short amount of minutes, but he showed what he can do. His first hit was a solid-ass shot. I like his speed of his pass as well, and he's got a really nice running game, and he'll grow into his game too. But often you see young hookers in particular get a chance at a debut, and it just looks like it's another step up for them, and it takes them a little while to adjust. I thought he came into the game at a really interesting time, where the arm wrestle was well and truly on towards the back end of the game. Very important minutes, shows Webby's trust in him to give Wade a little spell and allow Macca to come into the game. And I thought he was really damn good. I'm keen to see how he goes this week in Christchurch if he gets the opportunity.
It showed the trust that Webster has in his players. And none of them have really let him down. I think it's actually probably some of his older players that probably didn't have the performance that they would have been after. Yeah, strong player. And we knew that coming in, that he had the ability to make that step up to the next level. I think he also knew that he was coming on for that 15-minute stint.
Yeah.
Like, that was quite obviously, that's when Sam Healy normally comes on for Wade Egan to spell him. So, to know your role, not get phased by it, to come in at a difficult time in the game and to actually ice what he was supposed to do. Like, we didn't win the game, but he did what he needed to do, strong in the tackle, didn't make any mistakes from what I remember. So, yeah. It's a strong start for him.
Looks like he's got a nice, wider pass too, which opens up some options for us to set a little wider off the ruck. Like, the speed of his service was really good. Almost like a rugby halfback's pass, which wouldn't surprise me if he's played a fair bit of code coming from Christchurch. I thought Jacko Ford was relentless again. Maybe not the impact that he usually has with ball in hand, but tackle-wise,
yeah, very good.
he made 51 tackles. There was a set, I think with about 2 minutes to go in the first half, where he made 4 of the 6 tackles, ended up trapping the ball on the last 2 when they tried to put the grubber through. He stopped it, hit his feet, then we cleaned it up. Tomato got the ball. If the Sharks had scored there, it was off a set restart too. We would have been in real trouble. It's those little moments, right, where his engine just shines, and he is all effort, we know that, but 51 tackles.
Yeah, this question's a little bit technical rugby league wise, but his work rate and effort, does that only work when we've got players around him that are more short, sharp impact? Do you know what I mean? Like, if we have...
In terms of on attack?
On attack, but I just mean if our lineup is, or if our forward pack is all 80-minute long effort...
Yeah.
We lack that guy that comes in like the Demi who just plays 20 minutes of just hard and breaks the line. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
His effort is great, his engine's unreal, but do we sort of miss that player around him that's just going to come and sort of just add impact?
Well, I think that's what made Aaron's night a little bit different, right? That second stint we get when Fish and Aaron comes back in changes the game every time. And Jacko is an 80-minute grinder, and you need those power guys around him, right? Even Tanner going 33 at the start. Fish is normally off by then.
Yeah.
It was Aaron Clark that was the one who went off first. I think Demi came in for him.
Yeah, I think that mucked up our rotation a little bit. And I just mean that the mix of having Jacko there and Tanner, who maybe was a little bit tired from his longer stint, we've got those engines, but not the lacking of impact. Do you know what I mean?
It's a fair point too, because Eddie came in and played in the middle, and he's a great footballer.
Correct.
Big Eddie fan, but he's not a power.
No, he's not.
Knock the front door down. He's another Jacko Ford could play 80, very good at what he does, but having Tanner off the bench to inject, and then it's that physicality non-stop, really does bring the best out of Jacko's game.
It's the role change of the players that Demi knows he's playing 15 and he's just got to come and smash people.
Yeah.
And Tanner sort of does that when he only needs to play that minutes too, and Fish does, and then Aaron can play longer and a bit of both.
Yeah.
I just feel like that mix with Jacko, this isn't a criticism on Jacko, but just the mix of our forwards.
And also you have to factor in Jacko is a smaller middle and does his best work ball in hand when there's ruck speed, right? And it's guys like Fish and Aaron Clark that generate the ruck speed. Jacko does a good job of it too, but when he's running downhill, that's when his best work with ball in hand comes into play. So, yeah, it's certainly a good point. I thought Wade was good. 43 tackles. I like the creativity he had out of 9, considering that it was a slower ruck. We weren't getting a roll on, so it wasn't exactly his perfect day. I thought Dallin carried damn hard too, and topped our meter count at 160. I'm going to touch on our attack. This is a nice little segue into tackle 4, because I feel like our outside backs looked a little bit light for the first time this year in terms of our yardage carries, and we've touched on the Sharks D, but we were far from bending the line, and I feel like in previous weeks, And they're the same guys. Dell and AKP carried a little bit stronger, but I think it's a result of ruck speed, more fatigue on the opposition D, and our forwards just rolling through the middle. I think for the first time this year, once there was parity in the middle, or perhaps we were getting dominated on a few more of our carries, teams were able to load up on our outsides, and Dell and AKP, they're hearty, but they're not the biggest individuals. I feel like when Chance came in for AKP, we actually started to win some of that yardage battle again because he's a slightly bigger body, and that's what Chance does at the back. So it's just an interesting point of note. It felt like for the first time this season, our outsides weren't able to get our sets rolling right from the start.
I felt the same in the Panthers' first half, wasn't it? When we didn't really... I think I said to you, I'm not sure whether it was on the podcast or not, that we couldn't actually get out of our own end well enough to actually set up our attack and get a roll on. And I got the same sense, like whether it was... my favourite saying, Mount Smart, whether it was Mount Smart and just what we were doing there or just the physicality of the Sharks' defence, I'm not sure. But yeah, you're right. It felt a bit off and we just sort of weren't creating the go forward that we maybe have in previous weeks.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that like attack complements your D and vice versa. I think if we're tiring bodies through the middle, then that allows our backs on yardage carries as a result to then win the contact area because the opposition middles are fatigued. But when we're not either smacking them defensively or you don't have Fish, Jacko Ford, those guys bending the line, they're just allowed to load up, right? And they've got a set line there just waiting to bring it, and they're not as fatigued as they usually are, and that results in dominant contact from them and we get driven back. Dell was screaming into those carries. You can't question the intent.
And how good was his usual... like
the jaw
holding
stays
the jaw,
down, got a couple.
Penalty,
AKP
beautiful.
got monstered by Talakai, and that resulted in him going off. They're saying it's just the cork. He was on crutches, but look, you can get those nasty corks that ease within 48 hours, so hopefully that is the case. But I thought first half in particular, man, it was tough for our outside backs, and I'd love to see Ali, who's the biggest body out of all of them, just really wind up on a few of those carries. Like, he's got good feet and stuff, but I feel like at times, like when you're up against it like that, I'd love a massive tackle 3 carry from him.
I get the sense some of the time when we don't get that go forward, and this is getting really technical, but we're just popping around the ruck and just sort of jogging into the catch and sort of going into the line and trying to get post-contact meters. There's no sort of like back fence bunty, like running harder or someone running straight. Tanner was trying, but I just feel like we don't do it enough where we can get the actual, because at the moment we're kind of just jogging into the tackle, hitting it and not really going anywhere instead of really getting some go forward momentum. And that's hard when you're on your own line.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that maybe has something to do with us not really getting over the advantage line.
Yeah, it was the first time that we were kind of in the grind this year and we weren't that team with the upper hand, or second time maybe, that first half against Penrith, it felt the same. Other points for our attack, I just have here that I feel like we didn't really fire as many shots in this game as we would like to. Of course, a lot of it comes back to our forwards not really getting the roll on in the middle, but then even things like guys making uncharacteristic mistakes. And I feel like in the second half, when we were dominant, we were still pushing passes and making silly errors because we were chasing points. I feel like we had this feeling that we needed to capitalize and score off opportunities. We had that break there where Pompey throws that pass around Chanel's ankles. I think it was tackle 1 or tackle 2. We're almost at halfway and it ends up with the Sharks getting the ball. Whether that's leadership, whether it's just people panicking a little bit. Then we had that pass from Ali to Dell. That was a really tough pass when a good pass there, and he probably goes in the corner as well. We had Aaron Clark in the first half just dropping it off. Like, that is so un-Aaron Clark-like. It was just uncharacteristic at moments where throughout the year we've iced those moments.
Might just be an off game. Like,
exactly that.
Or we were put under pressure to make us go off
and
our
the Sharks
game.
deserve credit.
Yeah.
Their line speed, as we've said, was relentless all day, and they scrambled really hard, and they didn't allow us to have many opportunities. It's just like, I feel like in those games in particular, everything's under a magnifying glass because it's such a grind that every time you hand over the ball can be a bit of a coach killer.
And this isn't a negative thing as such, but it almost felt like we didn't have a guy to break the game open. We didn't have that quality, like, I know Luke Metcalf, but we didn't have that Luke Metcalf line break like we did last year where it's Chans on the inside or, or that AKP break at Magic Round or something like that. It just got the sense we didn't have that impact.
Yeah, I feel like the speed was taken out of the game.
Yeah,
it was one of those weird ones where it slowed down, and actually having a big forward pack would really be in your benefit in that type of game. Yeah, we just couldn't generate any ruck speed, and that's when AKP and that pop around, even Tane, like it wasn't through a lack of trying, it was just physical through the middle, and the Sharks were so up for it. The biggest one for me on our attack, though, was our lack of a kicking game. And I feel like we were pretty hot on this kind of the first week that these two partnered up in the halves, and we said that it needed to get to like a 7 out of 10 basically, and that it might show up in games where we aren't winning the middle, and unfortunately it happened in this one. We actually won the kicking meters battle, but it certainly didn't feel like that. Like both our short and long kicking game, just not quite on, and I think it was evident basically right from the start. Every kick looked like it needed another 10 or 20 metres on it coming out of our own end, whereas Trindle was just sending them. And where you start your sets from makes a massive difference. In particular, when you're in the wrestle with a team and you go through a 6 or 7 set cycle there, if they're starting their set 10 metres forward every time, it really does add up. I feel like our short kicks were either too short or too long. We weren't able to get up and compete. Like they had 5 forced dropouts, 4 of them from grubbers. We didn't put a grubber in. Jackson Ford put a grubber in. That was the one player. That was our one grubber the whole night. You are big on grubbers.
We were the same against the Panthers.
Yeah, in wet conditions, I feel like that's the perfect kick. And there weren't a lot of opportunities for us to do it because we weren't down in their red zone a whole lot. But I do feel like at times, if we're going to kick for the air, like make it contestable in the red zone.
On the
Otherwise,
line.
A grubber is a great way to go. The Sharks did it to us. Tane had to clean up a lot of shit. Yeah, it's a tough one to contain. You're big on it.
I'm big on it just because let's say the grubber goes, let's say we do the grubber 10 metres out and the ball goes close to the line, they get out, they just sneak out. Okay, sweet. Your defensive line's almost set. You're in and around. You've given away the ball on the line and you can sort of get your defence up from there. Yes, if you get it wrong, it's a 7 tackle set. But you'd rather go short and they get just out and then you're giving away the ball the same as you would on a high kick.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it just frustrates me.
Yeah, I feel like the more times you can make it a 50-50, right? Through a short contestable kick or a grubber where it could hit bodies, it could go straight through, it causes a little bit of chaos. And as the attacking team, that's what you want to cause in situations like that.
We've also talked about Mount Smart being slippery and it being wet. If that ball's going in, it's actually really hard to be able to travel back or travel across, catch it from low, then turn and sort of get past a couple of defenders and get out.
And we were down a couple aerial threats there, like the kick to Lecker and things has been a great play. So perhaps the grubber was the option. Again, I come back to the forward pack and that it's really hard for halves when you're on the back foot, but I feel like a big boot there, like a Tanner Boyd would have really helped.
Is it us not having a big enough boot? Or is
I think so.
Oh, you think it's simply that or the options
out
that
of our own end?
Okay.
In particular, you watch the start of the game, and I think Monty actually mentioned it in commentary off the back of the first set. He said, that kick's gone a little bit shorter than we would have wanted to. Like, the lads are trying to whack it and send it down there, but then you watch Trindle, and he does it with so much ease. Like a Mitchy Moses type, Matty Burden type boot, and those are the elite boots in the game, but I feel like even Tanner had a bit of a longer kick. I think even Lukey Met, like, if you look at his stats from the Cup game, 639 kick meters for him. 4 bombs, 2 grubbers, 1 repeat set, 5 from 5 off the boot. I feel like his long kicking game, or his kicking game in general, since he moved into the 7 jersey last year, got a whole lot better. At the start of his 7 tenure, it wasn't great, but it really did improve, and I think that has been underestimated. It might just be something to look at in these bigger games when the wrestle is really on. That can be a massive difference maker.
We're going to get teams that are going to be as physical as the Sharks are. And to be able to get out of that, we need a better boot, really. Because in games like you've just touched on, in games that we're dominating and getting enough forward pack roll, it's probably not as big of an issue. But against the Panthers, it was starting to become an issue. And then in this one, it really was. So it's an interesting point. I don't think Webby will make a change like that. I mean, TMM was holding was it a hamstring he looked a little bit? I don't know. Or do you think he will?
I think that Luke will be on the bench this week at least. I think he'll be in the...
Dry paddock too.
In the 18, yeah. That's the thing, like, I spoke to Lukey after the Cup game, and he said he's feeling really good, starting to feel real confident in his game again. And he had 3 try assists in that game too. I thought he was really good. This Cowboys, it's going to be a different encounter, and I expect that we will be able to generate ruck speed. And like you said, when the 4-pack's going forward, Tamari and that, like, they have some assets to their game that make them better than the majority of halves in the competition. T's work defensively, his ability to play eyes up and create something from nothing. He is great, but it's just that little aspect that come finals time could prove to be really important.
Yeah.
And Tamari also has bench utility value. I'm not saying drop him. I'm saying I think Luke might make his way onto the bench this week.
There's certainly a conversation for it. And 2 straight losses, is it 3? No, it's 2, right?
2.
2 straight losses, I mean, the Sharks and the Panthers isn't like catastrophic defeats, but you're starting to raise questions almost about the selection. So it'll be interesting to see where he is.
Yeah, it's not panic time, making it clear. I still love what these halves bring, but I feel like on an occasion like that, and we might not get too many occasions like that this year, but those conditions, 4-pack not quite getting the roll on like usual, a big boot would have been massive, or even just a slightly more accurate 5th tackle kicking game could have been huge too, because I feel like Trindle really dominated that area. Field goal setup, I have that written down here. I didn't mind us going on tackle 2. I think our setup for that play gave away that we were going on tackle 2. The whole purpose of going on tackle 2 is to catch the opposition off guard. I think it was Demi who kind of jogged into it as a carry, and then it was really telegraphed that T was in the pocket. The pass was a bit loopy. Tamari took a while to put boot on ball, and it was obvious it was coming. The Sharks knew straight away. I feel like if we're going to go on tackle 2, you need to disguise it a little bit better than that.
Is there a way to be deceptive about it? Like, can you throw it to Chanel and set up a play and then get it back on the inside to TMM in the pocket? Like, is there something like that?
I actually wouldn't have minded him standing a bit flatter, and we were 20 metres out, right?
Because the quicker pass
quicker pass, and you disguise it by dropping later than what we did. You get a proper carry, you get a bit of a roll on so that they're backtracking and they're not, defensive line isn't set. And then you disguise it by being a little bit flatter and looking like you have ball running options there with your middles ready to go. And you kind of just chip it over. The one that reminds me of it every time is Luke Metcalf against the Dragons. I think it was last year. He took the field goal with about 10 minutes to go, and that changed the outcome of the game. There was a set in this one. We were 10 minutes to go. We were hot on attack.
I always think we should
I was in the stands yelling, take the field goal. People around me thought I was nuts. But it also changes the way the opposition then attacks
because they wouldn't go for the field goal. Probably they'd go for the win, right?
Yeah, they would either go for the win or they would be so determined around going for the field goal that they don't attack properly. They think, let's just get down there, and that kind of shuts down their game as well.
Back your defense. Take it with 10 minutes to go.
But I liked the second tackle approach. I see a lot of people questioning it, but only if we disguised it, and I don't think we did. And the whole thing just took too long. The last goal kick, I feel sorry for Adam Pompey. Lukey Met was 5 from 5 off the boot, by the way, but I feel sorry for Wetz. I thought he had a great night goal kicking wise. Prior to that, he was 2 from 2 in the lead up and hit a couple tough ones. I just felt, tough for him. Obviously,
he should make that.
It's a talking point. I think he should. I think he should, but when you factor in as well that he is not our main kicker, but I felt like he kind of chipped that one.
Yeah, he did. He got the pitching wedge out.
Yeah, it was a nervous nudge, and it's heartbreaking for him. He was clearly distraught. And look, I feel like going to Golden Point would have been a bit of a good result for us.
Yeah, it would have been.
From that game, because we had other opportunities to win it well before that kick. It's just sad to see it end like that. I do feel sorry for Wetz. Tackle 5, our goal line defense. So many examples of us defending for long periods of the game, and good to see like our systems still holding up regardless of being down troops. I thought our goal line D, our scramble was elite. We gave no real easy opportunities to the Sharks. There were times there where I thought we might have broken. The Sharks threw plenty at us too, 4th tackle kicks. They'd clearly done their homework, but I thought our goal line D was really good in this game.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think it shows that we're not giving up on the play, and that despite going down or despite being under pressure, we're still able to hold strong. And I think it's been one of the things we've done well, scrambling defense during the year. So It's good to see that there's positive parts of our game despite probably not being up to scratch in other moments.
And I feel like goal line D and
Effort.
scramble, it's a reflection of effort, right? And being down troops, that's all you can ask for. But I feel like the lads emptied the tank, man. Like, we gave it everything. It's not so much that we were disappointing. I just think it was a bloody good game between two physical sides, and they went at it, and that made it a bit of a arm wrestle back and forward. But I actually really enjoyed this game, to be honest. Tackle 6, my last tackle is basically from here on out. To me, this game in Christchurch against the Cows almost becomes semi-must win. We have the Finns at Suncorp the week after, and then our final bye. We need to pick up one of these two for sure, with other teams now becoming hot on our heels. I'm not sure Fish will be back. Webby said in the post-game presser that he's 50-50 and that he's more likely to be there either side of the bye, so that suggests Dolphins or the weekend after that. For me, under the roof should suit us. It should speed up the ruck a little bit. I would love to get Fish back. I wouldn't mind seeing Jai Lanane get a crack, eh? I don't know if you watch much of the cup stuff. Played again at centre. It's his 4th game back. He's looked dangerous in all 4. Scored again. Had 6 tackle breaks, 155 run metres, 14 tackles, 1 miss, 19 tackle breaks across his 4 games. He's a 5'8 fullback that's playing centre. To me, he brings bench utility and could provide something a little bit different. I'm not saying start the bloke. I'm just saying he was named in the extended this week. I wouldn't mind seeing him potentially get an opportunity because he could be a real weapon for us. But I think this is a game that we should get, and it's one that we really need to get. The atmosphere is going to be crazy. Everything should be in our favour. 2 points this week.
It's massive.
Incredibly important. Good to see Tom Dearden listed on the injury report.
Not those ones.
Round 16. I feel like it happens. We say this all the time. Every time a team plays the Warriors, their best player comes back. I still back us to beat them with Tommy Dearden back in. But important one, this one.
I don't think it's a good team to play under the roof.
The Cows?
Nah.
Just because they're razzle-dazzle.
Razzle-dazzle. They want that. They love a 34-32.
They just have the difference between their best and their worst
Correct.
is so drastic. They had their first bye of the season last week, so they will be ready to go.
Yeah.
But I'm, of course, backing us.
I back us, but
it's just an important one, right? And it's funny how quickly your mindset can shift around games. Like coming into last week, we're sitting in second, life's good. We're thinking, win these games, stay in contact with the Panthers. The competition is so tight now that if you can't afford to drop all 3 of these games prior to the next bye, this is the one to get for sure. Finn's humming, and I still back us to beat them at Suncorp. But this is going to be some game this week.
Yeah, I've got my doubts.
Oh, here we go.
I've got my doubts. Just
triple header as well.
Yeah, so I'm more excited for that than I am for the
absolute treat. NRLW, I don't know if it's been really publicised yet.
Probably not enough.
But NRLW, 11 a.m. in the stadium. Then we've got New South Wales Cup up against the Dogs at 1:30ish, and then the main game. So footy from 11 a.m. in the best stadium in the country.
Oh, it's just a great stadium.
Oh, it's going to be going off. So if you're lucky enough to be heading down there, hopefully catch up with you and enjoy the atmosphere. But I feel like the team needs to lift and Warriors fans need to lift this week to get us home.
Hopefully, I know it's sold out. You want to see some people turn up early too.
Yeah.
You want to get the 20Ks, the 15Ks at the New South Wales Cup because they're a great side. So it'll be cool to see. Hopefully, the Warriors fans turn out and they don't get too heavy. Drink in the stadium.
Yes. There we go.
In the stadium.
And no, I don't have tickets. Everyone keeps asking. I wish I did.
I can't get down. So
no, there you go. Overall takeaways, Sharks very good. Thought we were good, but not quite good enough. Opportunities created, some missed. On to this week we march.